You ready? Welcome to episode 2 of our Knockdown Rebuild project in Melbourne, Victoria, with 13 interiors, my design business, and we are showing you how to build a home from scratch and all the things we are doing and sharing our tips and tricks along the way and our save and splurge features. Really excited to talk about floor plans today, and I want to talk about the process of having your architect or draftsperson and interior designer from the very start and how crucial that is. And I talked a little bit about that on our Instagram recently, about the importance of both those roles and why they play such a big part in making sure that you really get the best out of your floor plan design. So late last year, when we secured the home, which is a knockdown, we then started planning our home. So we went to our architect first, and we sat down with our architect to really chat about what we wanted to include in the home. The architect is responsible for ensuring that the bones of the home are designed correctly, that it complies with building regulations, that you're using the appropriate amount of land. They're looking at your setbacks, your boundary requirements, your overlooking rules, and fundamentally making sure that the home structurally works. Where an interior designer comes into play is the interior and making sure that your home functionally works for the way that you want to live in that home, for all the things that you want to include, the intricacies around furniture planning, even window treatments, and all of those things that come into play that is a level sort of beneath your architect, I guess, and a little bit more intricate design for each of your individual areas and how you want things to specifically look. And then we also choose all the materials and finishes as well, which obviously we are going to be doing for this project. So today I'm talking through floor plans and some of those initial changes that we did make in the, the first couple of concepts that we have. We've only done 4 concepts, and that has come down to really good planning and communication between the architect and also my team and our builder to ensure that it is exactly what we want to build, and we've included everything, and we're really said quick and probably concise with our communication back to our architect as well around some of the changes that we have suggested. And I'm going to walk you through some of those ideas today that we did change from the original plans. So this is our lower level of the home, and then we're going to be moving up to the top floor, which I'm going to show you in today's episode. So you come into the home in this area, and we have a stairwell coming up to this space. We have on the ground floor, we have 2 living spaces, dining, kitchen. We have a drop zone, laundry and pantry space, which comes off to the rear of the garage. We have a study and a powder room that will be used by guests. We also have a guest wing over here with ensuite and robe. And we have a gym and a wellness bathroom, which is something that we're super excited about, and also a pool, outdoor space, and our fresco area. So one of the things we changed from the original design was that the architect had a spiral staircase here, and he had a couple of options of how that could look. One of the reasons why we did take that out was, yes, it would be an amazing feature to have in the home, but I don't believe it should be the real focal point of the space. And I also didn't want that to impose the walkway in the entry. As much as it looked beautiful, you had to walk around it to come into the entry space. That staircase would have been quite expensive too, upwards of $100K. And I really wanted to focus that money elsewhere on, say, the kitchen design and also doing a wellness bathroom and gym, which I think is really something that is becoming quite vital in the way that we live. So at the start, you really need to think about those things where you want to spend the money and where it's really worth spending the money, but the way that you want to live as well. If you want a spiral staircase, that's okay. But for this project, I felt like it would have been a hindrance on the design and also not something that we wanted to spend all that money on. One of the other areas that we did also change as well is we had another void in this space. And whilst on plan, it looked really amazing, it was something that I felt was going to impact the overall design and use of the space upstairs, which I'll talk about when we get to upstairs. It was also, with the way it had to be designed, it was going to be off center to the living room and the dining room furniture, which to me, as an interior designer, that would have looked weird as you walk in and see that the furniture wasn't quite sitting under the void and it wasn't really aligned. So this is where an interior designer comes into play, because we really think about how that finished room is going to look and function with furniture. And I just felt that that void was a lot of wasted space. Whilst it was a really beautiful architectural feature, we already had a void in the entry here. So I did believe that was going to waste space and also limit having that extra living room that could potentially be a kids' retreat upstairs. So we cancelled that idea and really ensured that we maximised our footprint in this home. One of the other areas that we changed, which I'm going to talk about in a future episode of the kitchen design, was an additional entry here. So stay with me. One of the, the goals of coming into your home when you're a family is having those places to put things: shoes, bags, charging devices, a drop zone that doesn't make your entry really cluttered. So that's what we've created into this zone, which we'll show you again once we share the renders. So coming into the garage, you park your car, you can drop your devices over here and charge them. This will be a drop zone here for shoes and bags. There is long storage on this side to then put in coats or jackets or whatever that might be as well. And then there's a scullery section as well in this place. So I imagine the kids are going to come home with their backpacks. They're going to take out their lunch boxes. You can pop them straight into the dishwasher in that area, or put things out on the bench and getting ready for the next day. Then you walk into the rear of the kitchen on the outer side of the kitchen, and you're not creating a bottleneck in the flow here. In our original plans, we had a walkway entry here. So you'd come through and then you could walk through the kitchen in this space. Now, the reasons why I deleted this, now stick with me, is this is where we're going to be have our main appliances as far as our fridge and freezer, oven tower and our pantry. This makes the most sense from a thoroughfare perspective of the kitchen. And then we have a cooking zone here, cleaning zone here, and then we've got our full kitchen island for prep or whatever you might use that space for that's nice and free. If we created a zone where you walk through here, this would have made this a bottleneck. Imagine coming home, everyone's funneling through the kitchen to that point, kids are opening the fridge, opening the pantry, and you're creating basically a blockage in a main section of the kitchen where everyone wants to access everything at once. So I decided to make sure our main thoroughfare and our entry and exit point was down this end on the outer skirts of the kitchen, leaving this just to be your kitchen flow when you want to access things and actually work in that space. So I'm going to share more of that obviously when we show you the renders and talk about materials and finishes. So now we have a typical L-shaped kitchen, loads more storage, cooktop over here. We have adequate bench space on either side as well. And we have all the things that we need when we're working in that so accessible to us. We have drawers, we have pantry spaces, we have the sink as well, and then we have our dishwasher and bin on this side too. So that area has come together quite nicely as far as a flow and being really family friendly with what we now have as a free island benchtop zone. You'll be able to sit on each side of this island too, with a slight gap that we have underneath designed on this end, and the rest of it we have drawer storage in there, which is such a great thing for kitchen spaces to be able to easily see what's in your drawers and also unload your dishwasher with ease into that space too. As we come down into this area, you'll see we have our powder room zone, which is going to be a really nice curved wall with some mosaic feature tiles. This will have a door here. We also have a window upstairs that will be changing, and this wall will be coming out in the guest suite. So my next hot tip for you is when you are finalising your plans, it's easy to miss things in 2D. For us, we are really, experienced at this, so these are the things that we know are there, and we're going to finalise those in our last round of plans with the architect, whilst we're also working on the interior design plans. It's very important that you look at all your entries, exits, and window elevations for all of your plans before you go and get them approved. They're the things that are probably the most trickiest to change later on, and you really want to make sure that you've got everything correct as far as heights and widths and all of your elevations, so that you know that you are happy with those plans before they are finalised off and given to the builder to start essentially building. We, as I mentioned, we also have our gym and our wellness space with a sauna and a cold plunge pool. And then we have an additional master retreat down here with ensuite and storage. And we also have built-in storage along here off the main living space that can be utilised for, extra storage. It could be a downstairs linen press, could be suitcases, the Christmas tree, all those things that we need adequate storage for. And then we have an additional lounge room space at the front here, as well as our family room in this area and a home office as well. So a really, really exciting floor plan. I think we've included everything that we can for the modern family. And then we also have our upstairs zone, which I'll share with you now. Okay, so here we have the upstairs area. So as I mentioned, this is this void where we come up the stairs and we'll have this beautiful view down to the bottom and the entry space. In the middle here is the lounge area. So this was the space where I was talking to you about having that extra zone that would most likely be a kids zone, TV room, little desk area, and also storage will be built across this wall. So if we had the second void, this was an area where we really were compromising, and I felt like this was really going to impact the space from a family perspective and was far better used if we included this additional lounge space for kids to retreat away to. Probably will be a little bit more of a messier space, and somewhere to have a little open study area for kids to use as well as say a linen press and areas to store anything that families need to store. So we have the 3 additional bedrooms up here. We had that guest swing downstairs that is almost like another master suite, and then this area would be where your additional bedrooms are for the kids. They have a shared bathroom with 2 sinks, a bathtub, and then an extra toilet in a separate space here. Now we did compromise on having another bathroom ensuite off the bedrooms up here because one, it was a cost factor. So as soon as you start adding in more wet areas, it's not just materials and finishes that add up, but it's also the labour that really goes into creating a bathroom space, and plumbing and all those extra things, and tilers and electricians. Bathrooms get really pricey. So for us, we were thinking from a cost perspective, is it really vital that another bedroom has another ensuite? And we just felt like it wasn't. It was going to impact the space up here and almost reduce having that extra bedroom. And we felt it was far more useful to have an extra bedroom for a family that might have 3 kids, and then having another 2 bathrooms up here and a powder room. So this is a space here that these 3 bedrooms will use. We do have a toilet in here, but we also have an additional powder room here if one of the kids is in the space, and then people can still use a toilet and have a sink in this area here, still allowing for a good wardrobe space in each of the bedrooms as well. And they are really decent sized rooms at, I think we are just over 4 meters by nearly like 3.7 wide. So a good size room for still a king size bed, but most likely will probably be queen beds in those spaces. So a great zone for children in the family, lounge space. We have storage, we have a desk area. This will be the TV wall, and this will be windows along here out to outside. Then you come down to the master suite wing. I wanted this space to be a really amazing luxury space for a parent's retreat. And I think we have definitely maximized the use of the space in here. We have the main bedroom area along here. Because the room is really wide, and this is something again that interior designers really think about versus say an architect thinking about the use of land and in general room sizes, we think about how we furnish a room too. This room is massive. We have over 5 meters in width, and we also have, nearly 6 meters on, over 6 meters on the depth. So a king size bed is literally only 1/8 wide by just over 2 deep. So this room would look tiny with this little bed in it, bedside tables next to it, which is what we see all the time when people come to us with their architect plans, and there hasn't really been some thought to the feel and the use of the space. So we have created another wall partitioning off the room to allow for extra joinery. And then we've made sure that our window starts from this point to allow for the depth of joinery behind the wall. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to show you the renders and show you what that design looks like. So we've created additional wardrobe space. We all know who's going to be using this area. And if I was going to be living in this home, this would be my wardrobe, and my husband would probably be out here. So we have additional wardrobe space either side here with a makeup desk in the middle, or it could be a study desk, whatever you might want to use that for. But this is great storage, use of space behind the wall here. It's still going to look amazing. We have designed it with doors, so the internals can just be white joinery to save on costs, and it could just be hanging rails, or you might have a few shelves in there. But we have tried to be quite minimal in that space so that this is where we are spending more of our money with drawers and glass doors and things like that to make this look really high-end and nice, but also function really well as well. The bed will be along this wall coming out this way, and we'll even still have room for some nice lounge or some armchairs over in this space. And if the owners choose, they can do their TV on this wall opposite the bed if they want to have a TV in the room. So we've catered for a really large space, giving additional joinery, which is really functional, but the room is going to be really balanced well, and the scale of it will be in proportion to the furniture that we're putting into it. There'll be a double slider along here where you walk into a walk-in robe with joinery on each side. I've chosen to do doors on this joinery. I had a lot of feedback recently when I did a walkthrough of a home, and everyone's like, I love doors on joinery. It hides everything, but also keeps the dust away, which is a really good point. So we have doors on this with a mix of an area to display items that you might want to display in a wardrobe, jewelry drawers, and also functional drawers for all your small bits and items and things like that that you want to access easily that you might fold into spaces. We then have this amazing master retreat, and I can't wait to share the full renders of this space where you walk through the middle and you'll see the amazing bathtub. Now, if anyone spied something in here that doesn't look quite right, you are correct. So we are still in the infancy stage of finalizing this floor plan, and we have a window that is not aligned. This is my hot tip. Always check your windows and door elevations before you approve your plans. We had a change from a previous plan because we're 4 plans in, and we needed to bring the house in along the side here because of a boundary requirement and an overlooking rule. Actually, I don't know if it was an overlooking rule. It was a boundary requirement, and we shifted in and the window wasn't accounted for. And I want that, and other people might be fine like this, but an interior designer, I want this window central to this bathtub. So when you look through here, you see that beautiful bath sitting in front of the window, and it's all balanced and even each side, and doesn't look like it's offset to the left when you walk in how it is now. So that's something that's really important to me. Always check windows, Always check doors. When you're looking at it in 2D, sometimes these things can be easy to miss. So we have two-sided vanity in this area with a walk-in shower on this side and our enclosed toilet on that side. Some people are okay about toilets being exposed into a bathroom space. I like mine with a door, and particularly because we don't have a door on this area here. We have a door here, but not as you walk into the ensuite here. Well, at this stage we don't. That could change. So it is an open space, so I do want the toilet enclosed in this area, and we've just made that a cavity slider. So that is the plan walkthrough of how we are at the moment. It is super exciting, upstairs to downstairs. So like I said, my hot tips: get your team at the start, architects, designers, your builder, so everyone is working together on their strengths and making sure you get the best outcome for your home from a perspective of functionality, practicality, obviously the use of your block, room sizing, but also how you want to live in that home and where your furniture is going to sit, what it looks like, the size of it. Can you actually fit your family in this home? And can you fit your refrigerator in your proposed joinery design? The depth of joinery is very important when you start the planning phase as well. And always check your windows and doors when you are doing your planning, so that before you go to your final approvals, you are happy with the exact layout that will go to your building surveyor to get your building permit. So that is episode 2 in a nutshell. I hope you've loved it. Drop some comments or send us a DM if you've got any feedback. But as I said, all of this will look a lot more exciting when we start sharing more of the renders, and you'll be able to see what we're really planning for the interiors and the finishes as well. Thanks, guys. See you in episode 3.